Coming at you live from beautiful DNHQ in also beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue M Podcast. And we are the National League champions, my friend.
Doesn't quite have the same ring.
Yeah, we're not quite there. We're happy. We're going to the World Series. We still here, boys and gals. What's going on? My name is Clayton. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. Who's that guy?
Yeah, I like how you say we. Like, we are going to the World Series.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the communist sense, we're going to the World Series.
It's the royal, not royal we.
The royal we. Guys, I am, you can find me at BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. I wouldn't right now. Not a good time to do that. But we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we've done a lot of pregame shows, so by now, you guys have probably gotten real sick of us. And I'll be honest, we're pretty sick of ourselves. We don't want to hear ourselves anymore. But, I mean, it's so fitting the way you titled this. Don't call it a comeback. And if you know why that's so fitting, then you're a friend of the show and we appreciate you. But down 3-1, the Dodgers find a way, win the National League Championship Series, and one of the most exciting playoff series that you will ever see in your life. And it's such perfect timing since it couldn't be at Dodger Stadium, you know?
My heart still hurts, but it's not because of cholesterol or any of those other fat people things. It's just that was a stressful series and stressful Game 7, but the perfect Game 7. We'll get into that more in a little bit. We also got to preview the World Series, the battle of the best, the two teams with the best record in all of baseball, the Dodgers and the Rays, are meeting up in the Fall Classic, and that's fun. We got a few BDE moments in the world or in the NLCS. We got to talk about those, and also there was kind of a cost of doing business. Came out of there bloodied but unbowed. So we got to talk about some of the injuries and the latest with that. And the latest giveaway with our friends over at Elite Sports Collectibles. So that's going to be a good time. Before we get too much into everything and before we start talking to you guys through the comments, we got to remind you this is a podcast. Please subscribe. Please rate and review us on iTunes. That'd be like super. Preferred you do nice things. 5 stars would be great. Just saying. But we're on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, everywhere your podcasts are available. We are there. We are also on the youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Go there, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wait, there it is. That's a bell. Because we're pre-gaming. We're tired, but we're pre-gaming every game, and we're having fun doing it. Doug's post-gaming for every game. So it's been a good time, and also if we're looking at it, we're winning, it's working, so we're going to go ahead and put that on us. Let's dig into some of the comments. We got LCP, first one I see here on YouTube, Dodgers in 5. Oh. We got OB on Periscope saying Dodgers. That's what I'm saying.
That's how you're interpreting it. That's pretty good, yeah.
Nomo FOMO asks, are you guys happy now? Are you happy?
I've never been happy.
Exactly.
I've never been known to be happy, and I never will be happy. Ask me in a week. We might have different news there.
Huh?
I said, ask me in a week. We might have different news.
This is true. We might be playing still in a week. This is a weird series. There's actually days off again mixed in this World Series. Chris Canetta says Dodgers need to crush the Rays in 4 to avenge the OG Steve Irwin. I like that one. We're going to take out the Rays in honor.
For Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Roach is in the stream, says we need this World Series because the window is closing. You know what they say? When Brooke closes a window, he probably hurt himself.
There's another one opening. I don't know how the window's closing, by the way. I don't know what A-Royd is talking about, but he had that to say yesterday. Dodgers window's closing, but they have the best young pitching in baseball. Tell me how that works. Riddle me that.
A-Rod says words.
Steroid brain really gets to you later in your life, man. It really does.
Find some more, Chief.
Maria says Dodgers are number 1, and that is to be determined, Maria. That is to be determined. This week, we'll find that out. I think you said, was it Andrew that said Dodgers in 5? I'm seeing a lot of people giving their predictions for the series. Go ahead and drop those. At some point, we'll read them probably, but we'll probably lose them. So,
Assailed Loner says, no more sad podcasters. Hey, we had to keep it rolling. We had to play a little bit more sad. We were, I would say, more anxious and nervous and terrified. Base Lord says, we will never be sick of you. Oh, that's very nice.
To the heart.
We got Emily saying, let's go. Swag Daddy McGee saying, good to see you boys back together. I mean, we'd be doing the show, the pregame together, but I don't want to drive out here and then have to miss the first pitch just driving back. And it's a whole ordeal, and it's not worth it. You guys get the same thing. Nick Lopez, happy and hungover in Whittier, California. That was me yesterday.
Ray over on Facebook says, hey guys, just checking in today. Had a tough day. Looks like Ray got in a little fender bender today. So Ray, we're thinking about you. Hopefully Dodgers win a World Series for you and it makes the fender bender worth it. I don't know how the two relate, but it'll make it better.
And hopefully it was somebody else's fault.
No Mofomo also asks, are you going to Texas? We are not going to Texas. We are, how do you describe the word poor? Is that the word you're looking for when you have no money? Poor?
Well, I had money, but I have to keep buying crap for my house.
That's right. I had money too, but then, I got a dog.
Put in room. All right, let's get into the good stuff. NLCS recap first. Anybody who was watching along with us on the pregame show, and by the way, I think we will be uploading the pregame show as a podcast for this week, so make sure you check out all the episodes along the way with us on all of those podcast platforms. I figured might as well give people some things, more things to listen to, but worst comes to worst, you can listen to us on the YouTube. But what a damn series, man. That was a wild freaking series. It had everything. I mean, you predicted no, it wasn't you. That was the old guy. That was Kevin who predicted the 3-1 comeback, the Atlanta curse.
The Atlanta curse? No, yeah. I predicted that the Dodgers were going to win on Friday after they went down 3-1 and then just come back and crap the bed the next day, because that's what they do. They get your hopes up and then let you down. But so far, so good. They have not done that yet. Count me in as one of the guys who thought they were toasts when they were down 3-1. I know there were a lot of you out there. I know a lot of you lie and say that you didn't count them out, and that's okay. We love you and appreciate you all the same. But my God, did this series not have everything that you could have asked for? Towards the end.
Towards the end. Yeah, when it became a one-game series over and over again, it was an incredible series for Dodgers fans. It was a painful series for Dodgers fans all the way through. It was a great series for baseball. I don't think you could have scripted it much better to have everything come down to a Game 7. The Game 7 was a good baseball game. It wasn't one of those 10-0 blowouts immediately or something like that where the game's already over and you're just kind of playing through it. It was fun. It was a good baseball game. There was stress. There was back and forth. There was incredible feats of athleticism on both sides. We've seen the picture of JT, old man JT, full-blown Superman laid out, trying to tag.
Stretching his bones out. He hasn't done that in 15 years.
Samesies.
I don't do that.
And then, more things on the Dodgers side. And again, we've talked a lot about this, but since we haven't done a full podcast in a week, we got to talk about resurgent Kenley. Because last week we were talking about, did Kenley officially pitch his way out of the 9th inning, which he did. But he got it right back, and all of a sudden you're looking at Ken and you're you're not getting that handshaking terror anymore. Fully.
Isn't it wild how quickly the script flipped? I mean, he comes in his first appearance in Atlanta, or against Atlanta, doesn't look great, but gets out of it quick. He's also has a 14-run lead when he comes into that game or something like that.
Yeah.
Gets a couple sharp flyouts, things like that. Doesn't look great. I think you were even I'm not in on it, man. He got 3 outs, but he had a huge lead and it didn't look great still.
That first one, he got hit hard. He got tattooed. Right. His first one should have been a homer, but I think the fact that he was able to get 3 up, 3 down, which had been a struggle for Ken for some time. He had those mechanical changes, very noticeable changes that we talked about yesterday, and they seem to be working. The ball is moving, the velo is there, and I'm closer to being sold. I'm sold enough to be giving him the opportunity to get that ball. I mean, hopefully not 1 or 2 run lead, but it is what it is. I guess before we move on to World Series stuff, we had to get there. Just kind of all over the place. I like SD Dodger Tim, by the way, in the stream saying you got to win it for Moshe. Moshe was that kid who bet Manny Machado bet his contract with that the Padres would win a World Series before the Dodgers. So that's funny.
There's a good chance that Manny Machado is going to have to talk his way out of this one. Apparently, when asked about it, he said he didn't remember having that conversation or saying anything about it, by the way. Conveniently.
He's a real stand-up individual.
Gail, friend of Canada, Gail, says she's still hungover. She's Canada over there somewhere. Gail's still hungover. I didn't really drink much during the NLCS, just during the pregame shows. I had a headache just from being alive. And that doesn't often happen to me.
Life hangover. I get you.
7 days of headaches. Just nonstop. I had a headache.
Man, I don't know what religion that is. Oh, that's baseball. That's
7 days of headache. Yeah.
7 days of headaches. Hell yeah. Mess them up. Katie's planning her second Dodgers tattoo, and that's the big thing. Don't get too hubrisy, guys. Don't start planning them. Don't get them early. Don't be those guys. Don't get the Altuve tattoo like some people have.
The Padres fan that got the tattoo after they beat the Cardinals because they thought they were on a warpath to win the World Series this year.
Yeah, let's be reasonable and cautiously optimistic. We go into this and we're going to preview the series in a few minutes. We're going to get on the phone with the host of a Rays, what they used to be Devil Rays podcast. In a minute or two, but let's get into here. Kevin, my buddy Kevin, asks if everybody's seen my sweet pergola. It is pretty sweet. It's a very fancy. I finally made myself an outdoor living room. It's a great time. I found a couch on the street. Great time.
He tells everybody about it. Everybody he sees, everybody he meets, he tells them about his pergola.
Since it's been set up, the Dodgers went 3-0. So just saying.
You're gonna have to hang a sign on that thing.
I'm just saying. And also, we're supposed to be, we can't say poor. It's a person of limited means.
We are people of limited means.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That about defines us. Oh, shoot. I just had a comment and it scrolled away. Don't you hate that?
One final note about the game before we jump into the World Series bound preview. Dave, I think this was Dave Roberts' best work he's ever done. There was a marked shift in Dave Roberts' planning, the Dodgers planning, the way that the bullpen and the pitching went, and it worked. And as much crap as I've given, everybody's given Dave Roberts, as much crap as he's about to get in the coming days, there's no way that the Dodgers would have made it to the World Series if it hadn't been some brilliant and gutty moves by him. I called it in the pregame show. Let Julio close out the final 3 innings. He did it. He looked great. You look at the game before when Walker Buehler came out after 6 innings. I was like, I don't like that because Walk was cruising. He had he still had some pitches left in the tank. He was going to face the 8 and 9 hitter if he came in the 7th inning. It was one of those situations like how in the 18 World Series, the Red Sox talked about how they all let out a collective sigh of relief when Doc went and pulled the ball from Richie Hill's hand, and then they started attacking. You get that guy out who's owning you all game, and he's out, and you still have 9 outs to cover. You start to feel good. Thankfully, Trinan was able to shut the door pretty quick right after that leadoff first pitch triple and all that kind of stuff. And then from there, Dave just was like, you know what? I don't care what the computers say. I don't care about that. I want to win this game because I need to. I can't go through another offseason like that, at least getting bounced before the World Series. So props to Doc Roberts.
My favorite thing is that every anti Dave Roberts, fire Dave Roberts person in the world, there's no way that you look at this and say that wasn't the best work of his career.
Yeah.
You look at his entire managerial arc. Obviously, it's not very long. It's not a long tenure, but you look at this and you're like, there is no other person that could have gotten this job done. There is no other person that could have planned it out like he did, knowing his guys and knowing that he could get to this point. My favorite thing yesterday was going back after Tony got rocked in his first at bat of the game, or first at bat for him, and saying like, how many of you guys are really upset that they started Dustin May now? I bet you didn't see this one coming. And they're like, shut up. And I'm like, yeah, you can still be mad. He makes weird decisions and we'll never get them, and that's okay.
And think about the fact that we didn't see Clayton Kershaw or Kenley Jansen in a series clinching closing win, the final game, potential final game of your season. That's where you feel really good about where the Dodgers are set up heading into this World Series. And to set up this World Series, the battle of the best in Major League Baseball, we are going to throw to the phone here. Locked on Rays podcast. We got Kevin Weiss. I believe I'm pronouncing Weiss right, but Kevin is joining us live via the magic of cell phones. How are you doing, man? And how are you feeling about this World Series?
Doing well, guys. Doing well. Yeah, just excited. Quite frankly, I needed sort of a little breather from so much baseball over the last. Now, it was nice for the Rays' perspective anyway, not to have a game on Sunday or today either. So a nice little reprieve, because it was a lot of stressful, nail-biting moments for Rays fans all throughout, for sure.
Yeah, same with Dodger fans, and you know, like they kind of snuck up on us and ended up throwing like half of the team at us, you know, through press conferences and stuff. So it's like, okay, cool. The Dodgers didn't really get a day off. You know, at least with the Rays, they had a travel day. They had to get into Texas and all that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of breathing room there for everybody in a way. But obviously, it's been a couple years since these two teams have faced off. Some different faces, different bodies. I'm sure a lot of Rays fans are very familiar with Mookie Betts, but now he dons blue. What fans need to know, what Dodger fans here need to know, and I mean, let's be real, a lot of the world needs to know is what is the deal with these Rays? Tell us about this version, this 2020 version of the Tampa Bay Rays.
It's funny because with the Rays, like every year, you're going to almost get a completely different team because they make so many moves, so many trades. They let go of so many guys because they don't want to pay, you know, the arbitration cost or free agent cost and things like that. And you know, so I can guarantee you next year's team probably isn't going to look anything like this year's team. But it's a lot of guys that have just been unheralded and overlooked and not really given a true opportunity or an opportunity that they deserve. For example, Mike Brosseau, who was the hero in ALDS Game 5. And I'm sure you guys know about the history between him and Aroldis Chapman. Like, he was an undrafted free agent out of college, signs a $1,000 signing bonus, and he just raked through the minor leagues, hit 300, hit 300, hit 300. So he would play any position that he would carry 4 or 5 gloves. He would do whatever was asked of him, and he earned his shot. Randy Arozarena, who the Rays, of course, traded for, giving up Matt Liberatore, pitching prospect. Like, he has, of course, been the hottest guy in baseball this postseason. But, you know, he kind of wallowed with the Cardinals. They really never gave him a fair shake, even after batting .350 in AAA last season. And I know there was the whole video scandal or whatever, filming, what was it, Mike Schilt after a post-game ceremony or whatever it was. But, you know, they bring guys in who are kind of oddballs who weren't really given a true opportunity. A lot of guys that were, you know, DFA'd from other teams. And, you know, the Rays were like, we like something in you. We can mold this, that you have a verifiable skill that we can utilize and mix and match, and we'll do that. Like, so many of the pitchers on this staff have, you know, been built via that route. John Curtis, for example, nobody had really heard of him, you know, from previous years. In fact, I think the Rays were the only team that gave him a minor league offer when I can't remember the team that they picked him up from, but there's so many stories like that, and they play together. They gelled together so well as a team. You know, there's one thing that we have to remember is it's so much, as much as the Rays are known for being analytical and process oriented and kind of outside the box thinkers, they come back to the human element. They realize that these guys aren't robots. They're humans. They have feelings. They have emotions. They need to be cared for. You know, you need to have some fun. You need to create a positive, welcoming environment. And that's what this organization has done through and through. And you look at the roster up and down, and so many of these guys came from different cultures. Like, you got guys from Cuba, you've got a guy from Korea, a guy from Japan, you've got guys from the South, you've got guys from the West Coast, you've got guys from the Midwest, you've got guys from the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, all over the place. And they find a way to play together as a team and love each other too. I mean, you can see that after wins and after clinching the pennant and things like that. Like, this group, you know, I think we can make a pretty strong case that the Dodgers through and through are more talented and definitely have more superstar power. But the Rays can hang. I think this is going to be a fun series, and it would not surprise me in the least, guys, to see this go 7 games, to be another kind of like, you might not have any hair left by the time this thing is done if you're a Rays fan and or a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, we look forward to that because we've been we didn't expect to go 7 games with the Braves around here. When we were first looking at the series, we were talking to a lot of people. Obviously, we know what the Braves can do. It was rough, man. And I have a tension headache that has still not gone away. And I look forward to having another one throughout the series. But Kevin, you kind of talked about that culture that the Rays have built. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but a lot of reporters want to talk about the fact that Andrew Friedman has his fingerprints all over this Rays team. That's actually all that the media wants to talk about on the West Coast right now. In his press conference today, every single question was about him being a former Rays member and how awkward it's going to be, things like that. But I think that when you look at these two teams, that's one of those things that they have in common, that the players, the atmosphere that they allow the player to be themselves, that they encourage them. And it just seems like it's a whole different ball game compared to other organizations. And that, that might be partly attributed to Andrew Friedman. That might partly be attributed to the Rays and then Andrew Friedman coming to us. But I think when you look at it, you see a lot of comparisons between these two teams, even if you don't have, the payroll that comes with it or the star power that comes with it with the Rays. But I spent a lot of time today. I'm talking 4 or 5 hours doing a deep dive on the Rays pitching staff all together. When you're looking at that, is your pitching staff the biggest strength going into this thing?
I would say yes, absolutely. I can tell you right now, it's definitely not the offense outside of Brandon Rosarino. Between the strike, the team led all of baseball in strikeouts this season, and that kind of showed and proved itself in the ALCS and at times for sure the ALDS. And yeah, it's funny the Andrew Friedman question because. Yeah, he got the ball rolling with the Rays, but it's been 6-7 years? 2014. Like at some point, like your fingerprints have kind of dissolved
right
from the organization. And it's one of those things with the Rays now, like every year they're going to deal with this where another organization is going to pluck a senior administrator type or a VP of baseball ops or whatever it is, but they've still got, the 200-ish staff members that are, you can't take everything, every person, every front office guy that works in the Rays. Like I know the Astros took James Click and the Red Sox took Chaim Bloom, but the Rays still have. It's just promoting from within and continuing to build on that. It's just like. It's like Alabama football. Like every year, guys are going to move on to the NFL. They're going to leave, but every year they're still going to be, the top or one of the top front offices in baseball. But yes, pitching is the absolute strength, and maybe more importantly, the bullpen is the strength. And what we've seen, and what you'll probably see in this series, guys, is the fact that the Rays don't like to see their starting pitchers go through a third time through the order. So even if a guy's rolling, like Charlie Morton in Game 7, 66 pitches through 5 innings.
That was wild.
Hasn't given up a run. They will pull a quick hook on you and want to mix and match as best they can with the bullpen. And I could see even more aggressiveness with the built-in off days. Like the Rays and Kevin Cash had to kind of be careful at times, and especially not in chasing wins. And we saw that in the Astros series where, if the Astros got up by a couple runs, it was like, well, I don't think we have the offense to come back from this. So we'll just leave a long reliever out there, and we'll show up tomorrow and see if we can come back and beat them. It'll be interesting to see if the philosophy changes a little bit, knowing that you will have some built-in off days there. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the least. Like Tyler Glasnow, I know going for Game 1, he might be the one guy that you could safely assume might be able to go through third time through the order most, but that's no guarantee either. Even if the first sign of trouble as he gets through that third time through the order, if he walks a guy or if a lefty's coming up, that might be where they make the move there. And they call it the stable. They've got a ton of guys that give you different looks, different arm angles, different types of pitches, a lot of velocity. There's this kind of a thing now where you're almost not allowed to throw in the Rays bullpen or be a part of the bullpen for 98. I think that's the rule. I think that's the law now. But yeah, that is where the Rays kind of rest easy, is knowing that their bullpen is a viable strength and what has really carried them through this. And, they've added another bullet, if you will, in Jose Alvarado. We saw him for the first time in, it's been almost 2 months, and he was firing 99-mile-an-hour sinkers from the left side and just absolutely, it was some nasty stuff. So that could be another weapon. I don't know if they want to necessarily bring him in a high leverage situation, but that is something that may work out well for the Rays. The other thing too is, and this has always been a calling card in addition to pitching, is the defense and how they were so good. They were so good throughout that ALCS. They turned 11 double plays and made so many other spectacular Gold Glove caliber plays throughout the outfield, the infield. It seemed like every guy at some point made some great play, whether even pitchers fielding their position.
You got Margot going into the what I guess the kind of
stands.
Truck pit, almost the stands there in San Diego, his old park. Definitely a lot of dudes laying their bodies on the line. We've seen years and years of highlights of Kevin Kiermaier doing some magic with the glove in the outfield. And you look at all the bits and pieces of the teams, they match up really well. There's a lot of fun. You kind of go back to that Rays pitching. You're setting it up here as a strength, but eventually now you had a stressful 5-game series. You had a stressful 7-game series. They really had to tax it. You had Snell complaining about coming out of the game early in game 6 or 5 or whatever it was, and kind of going to the pen there. And now all of a sudden those ERAs aren't sitting as pretty. I mean, small sample size and all that. But do you feel still as confident with those relief arms coming into again a very kind of taxed series to end the year?
Yeah, it certainly was a high stressful series. You could look at it a couple of ways of, well, they battled and grinded against a very good Houston Astros lineup. So now that they know what it takes, I mean, really, and the Yankees too. So, I mean, the fact that they're battle tested against those two respective lineups and the Toronto Blue Jays in the wild card series to some extent as well, knowing that, okay, yeah, the Dodgers are a really good lineup. They're a great lineup, but we've done this before. We can do that. We can learn from our mistakes or where we kind of slipped up there. Maybe the biggest question mark I have for the bullpen going forward is one guy, and that's the de facto. They're not going to say it, but he's kind of the closer. He's the most high leverage guy in Nick Anderson. And
it's like they have a closer?
Yeah, not really, but that's I would say their most high leverage guy. If there's a situation in the 7th inning where the bases are loaded and it's a tie game and you need somebody to get those outs, Nick Anderson has usually been that guy. But he showed some. I mean, he showed that he was human, that he was mortal in that Houston Astros series, where it's interesting because he had one of the highest strikeout rates in all of baseball, really going back to 2019, even before he was traded from the Marlins to the Rays, and he was striking out 50% of 50% strikeout rate in his innings and appearances and so on. But he did not record one single strikeout in 21 batters faced and 5 1/3 innings pitched throughout the ALCS. So there's something about it. And I know the Astros are a very good fastball hitting team. Nick Anderson also was on the IL earlier this year, so that you wonder if he's up to 100%. It seems like his fastball velocity may have lost a tick, and he's not getting the fastball, the four-seamer, up to the absolute top of the zone or even above the zone to get those swing and misses. He was kind of leaving it middle-ish and allowing those Astros hitters to kind of jump on it, and the curveball as well. So that's going to be something to watch because
the Dodgers, I'll tell you, the Dodgers can jump all over those real easy, like.
Yeah,
that's kind of their game plan.
Yeah, so that might be something that you'll definitely have to watch out for. Look, really, we've learned throughout this what's been, a long journey through the playoffs that at these relief arms, they can be gotten to. We've seen Diego Castillo had trying moments. Pete Fairbanks had trying moments. Nick Anderson, like I mentioned, had trying moments. Really, the guys that might, do the best out there are the guys with such unique looks, like Ryan Thompson, almost like a Chad Bradford type with the way he throws. Aaron Loop, a side armor from the left side that can pump it up to 95, 96. Guys like that kind of give you unique looks as opposed to the over-the-top delivery. That might be something to watch out for. But I wouldn't be surprised to see if, like, when you look at the box scores after these games, if the Rays have used 6, 7, 8 pitchers at a clip, because they will certainly, I think, be aggressive with how they want to attack this thing. Maybe I don't know. The one thing that might be really concerning is the fact that the Dodgers, Arlington Ballpark, or whatever they're calling it now, I don't even know, the ballpark that's in Texas that they're playing in. You guys have been there. The team has been there for 10 games, that's your home ballpark right now, and you have home field advantage. So really the Rays are going to have to take advantage. I think they had a workout today. Take advantage of that practice time, learn the idiosyncrasies of that ballpark. And I understand that maybe it could sort of be a dream for Kevin Kiermaier, maybe some of the pitchers to kind of get some highlight reel plays. And I think it might be I don't know. I've heard it's sort of deep in parts of the outfield there. So that might be them to work out.
Yeah,
too.
you're seeing those highlight reel plays nightly from the Dodgers, and Braves got a few in there too. So it's definitely for any outfielder that has some wheels. It's a great spot. A great spot to play, great spot to watch some ball games, apparently. So, Dodgers definitely have that advantage going there, already being there. Of course, Tampa, they're a dome team, they're a turf team, so it's not too much. Obviously, there's going to be differences in the field, but it's not an abundance of change. But, there's a lot of things that match up really well, and we're thrilled to see, the two best teams match up here, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, best of luck to your guys, best of health to your guys. I know you guys go daily on Locked On Network, so best of luck to your mental health as well, and doing that every single day, because we've been doing it recently every single day, and oh, hell, is it stressful.
Oh, my God. You can't even imagine. Look, the Rays were up 3-0 on the Astros. Little did we expect this thing to go 7 games and to be a narrow 7 games, too. Even though the Rays were up 4-0 in Game 7, the Astros made it 4-2 and had runners at the corners, I think. It was definitely tough. Look, I was expecting maybe after the Rays had gotten 3 up, okay, gentleman's series, you give them 1 and then you take Game 5 and then you go home and get a couple of days rest. But that, of course, was not the case. But I think if anything, it showed that the Rays have some resiliency, which you definitely are going to need against a really, really good Dodgers ball club for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So the series starts tomorrow, guys, and everybody you hope in the world will be watching it. Kevin, we appreciate your time. Tell people where to find your guys' podcast.
Yeah, Locked On Rays podcast. You can just throw it in the Google box there, and whatever your favorite podcasting platform is, check it out. Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all those sorts of things. We're also on Twitter at Locked On Rays as well.
Awesome. Kevin Weiss, we appreciate your time, man.
Of course, anytime, guys.
Thanks, man.
And the crowd goes wild. So we're at the point now. We got to hit a little bit of a giveaway.
Good news.
Yes.
People like giveaways, I've heard.
Yes.
I've never won a giveaway myself. I've never been on the winning side. Have you ever won a giveaway?
I've won some.
Okay, well, you're better than me, I guess. But we were giving away a signed, beautiful, premier. I don't even know what to call it. You called it delicious. I don't call it that.
You did, but you did last time.
I didn't mean to, though. But this is courtesy of Elite Sports Collectibles, who are working alongside us for giveaways this postseason. We had the Kershaw, obviously, photo signed by Mr. Clayton Kershaw himself in the flesh. I don't know when he signed it, but he signed it at some point.
Yes.
And we have to announce that giveaway today.
Oh, wait, I have a drum roll.
Do you have a drum roll?
somewhere.
Because you do have a drum roll.
It's the anticlimactic drum roll. And
that's the giveaway. Thank you. Over on Instagram, Kellen Nicole. That's at Kellen Nicole _34. You have won yourself a signed Clayton Kershaw picture. Make sure to shoot us a DM on Instagram. We will also shoot you a DM on Instagram a little bit later today. Hopefully you're around.
Sorry,
you don't want to miss out on that.
I don't have an image of it locked in, but I do have an image of our next giveaway. We're giving away a autographed Corey Seager baseball. Perfect timing for that because he's your National League Championship Series most valuable player because Corey can hit, it seems, when he's healthy. So the same thing, check out at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. You're going to see a post on our feed and you're going to tell us what your favorite memory, I believe it's your favorite Corey Seager memory of the 2020 season, his Renaissance season, I guess we can sort of call it. But what's been your favorite part of, even into the playoffs, what's your favorite Corey Seager moment from this season? At the same time, you're going to want to go ahead and follow our friends right there. You see them on the screen. Elite Sports Collectibles. That's at Elite Sports Collectibles. You have to follow them. You have to follow us, and you have to tell us your favorite Seager moment from 2022. Have eligibility to win this fine autographed and authenticated baseball. So that's pretty cool. Again, at Elite Sports Collectibles.
That should be pretty easy because Corey Seager just had a really good series.
There's a lot of them. There was home runs.
I remember stuff.
there was dingers. All right, before we move on, because we're going to have a little bit of fun to end the show before he gets his haircut. A little bit more Rays talk coming from us because we're going to have a lot to do it. When it comes to pre-gaming this, but again, you really look at the teams here in a way, the schedules, the records. Dodgers won 43 games? 43 games, and the Rays won 40. The first inclination might be, the Rays were in a better division, that's what, or whatever. No, they were in a worse or stronger, so they're the better team or whatever. They didn't play a lot of high leverage games, i.e. the East was not that strong somehow, and they still won 40, as where Dodgers played good.
Thought the East was pretty good.
That was just a thing. Clayton Kershaw starting game 1. That's why we're drinking our Kershaw beer today. Wicked curve. Oh man, you're not supposed to do that. Undo. But that's the thing. What else do you like about the Rays, and what else do you like about the Dodgers' chances quickly?
I like that the Rays have a very strong bullpen. The Rays offense is just not really there. Mm-hmm. Rosarina obviously is the exception to that. It's not nearly the similar as the Braves. The Braves were able to shut them out pretty well, surprisingly. You look at the stats at the end of it, you look at the bottom line, and you look at it, and you're like, wow, they actually handled the Braves pretty well. The Rays should be a lot worse offensively than the Braves were. Looking around the diamond, obviously, you look at the lineup comparison. Rosarina's going to take left field because Rosarina is hot and on fire. And even if you don't know who he is, he's just a monster. The Rays have the better bullpen. The Rays arguably have the better starting rotation. I don't know that I would argue that simply because of depth. Because Blake Snell is not nearly what he once was, first of all.
He's not Cy Young Snell anymore.
Tyler Glasnow also, I think that he offers the pitch mix that the Dodgers eat up, and I think that's really bad for him. I think this is the worst lineup he's going to have to face all year for his pitch mix because he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. The stuff that he does have to work with is elite, but it's not enough to mix into these Dodgers hitters who can eat you up for dinner. So I like the Dodgers offense against the Rays defense, honestly.
How do you like Kersh going against them in game 1?
The way that these guys line up, a lot of them, you
could say that for a lot of teams, though.
They feast on curveballs, and they are one of the best in this year against curveballs in the entire league. So with that in mind, I think you're going to see Clayton Kershaw counter that by not throwing a bunch of curveballs. They are one of the worst in the league against fastballs in the entire league. And you look at the arms that are on the Dodgers just all together, and you would think that translates to a very bad series for the Rays because the Dodgers have, let's see, 3-4 guys that can pump 100, give or take. 3-4 guys that can pump 100 miles an hour. It's bad news for the Rays in this series. Like I said, though, playoffs are always a different game. Playoffs are not the regular season. Things can always be flipped on their head.
And so far, we also know that Walker Buehler will get game 2. Dave unwilling to name game 3, unwilling to name game 2, which makes sense because Walker is just kind of through on Saturday, so it's not quite there. Give him some time so he can get game 3 and 7 if needed. Yeah, but it's going to be another one of them all hands on deck situations. So cool. Sports.
I like sports.
More housekeeping to do for the Dodgers coming up in this. Cody Bellinger hurt himself celebrating a BDE belly bomb. What the hell? You got Cody and Kike just bash brothering elbows, massive hard bromant of the series, and Cody has a dislocated shoulder from it.
It's funny
Hell
when
yeah.
it happened. I went, "Wow, his arm went really limp." Like you saw it, and I was
Yeah,
like, "That's
it was
weird."
like-
And then they started talking about it, and they're like, "I think he popped his shoulder out." And I was like, "Oh, he did pop his shoulder out."
Yeah.
I've never had an injury like that. I'll tell you that. The only injury that I can even think of that even closely resembles that is remember when Kendrys Morales broke his leg coming into home plate on a walk-off home run?
I remember that.
Getting hurt celebrating is the worst way to get hurt because it's the most avoidable way to get hurt. I totally get that moment. John Smoltz went a little get off my lawn in that moment when he was talking about it, but dude, you hit a home run in that situation in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series when you were down 3-1 and now you're up in the game that's going to send you the World Series. It's hard to not be hyped, and I totally get that. Unfortunate timing. Turns out they ordered a sling for him today, which is very concerning to me, but apparently didn't sound very concerning to them.
I like Dave talking about it. He assigned Cody the odd title of having a loose shoulder, because this is not the first time this has happened to Cody. This is like the third time it's happened in the big leagues alone, and he's only been here since 2017. So it's a little weird. That left shoulder or that right shoulder's a little less than wonky, or a little more than wonky, and you feel like, yeah, he just hit a home run. Maybe he's going to start locking in. How much is that going to affect his swing? Kike said afterwards, because Kike felt bad, definitely felt bad about dislocating your center fielder's shoulder. But he had mentioned, he went and took some hacks in the cage afterwards. So I'm assuming, today being workout day, Monday, they're going to learn a lot about his abilities. What my biggest fear was, we've seen how much his defense has played up in this series or in this postseason. The guy's had just countless phenomenal plays, covering a lot of ground. Dude's got wheels. We know that, but there's a little something that kind of slows down his arm on making those catches. That's where I have a little bit of underlying concern. You're trying to time the jump to rob a ball from going over, and all of a sudden something just locks up, or you can't get it up as quick, and you got to use that special promo code. Right. Whatever it is, I'm worried more about his D than his O.
I think a lot of people are worried about his D. It happens like that sometimes. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a bad way to, you kind of look at it from the context of past World Series. You look about how things are talked about, from the '88 World Series and the things leading up to it. Is this like his Kirk Gibson? Is this like what you're going to refer to when he comes up to the plate in a big situation in the World Series? Like, remember when he popped his shoulder out of place celebrating? Is that what's going to be in the history books? You hope so. You hope it's going to be something cool like that, where you get to talk about it in a positive light in the past. You hope it's not going to be something in the negative light where like, we lost in 7 games because Cody died.
Weird ones too, like CT3 hurting himself after throwing, because he just kind of landed slightly awkwardly, rolled, hurt a pop or whatever in his ankle. So that's going to be feeling great. But CT3, the man he is like, whatever, I care not for ankle ligaments. I will play baseball. I will remain playing baseball. So you got to love that out of Chris Taylor, because why not?
Why not?
Why not? Hopefully keep him healthy. Dave had mentioned today that they don't expect much in the way of roster changes for this series. He expects, as he said, status quo. Anything stand out for you in the pregame or workout day availability?
No. It was a very busy day. There were a lot of people. They mixed in too much stuff. They did the fan Zoom call thing. It was chaos. Corey Seager had to do a Zoom call with his phone holding. Yeah, it was awful. There's a lot going on. I feel for them, man.
It was definitely a little weird. All right, so let's find a few comments here. Like let you talking about Crenshaw. I love that boy. Crenshaw's wicked curve, eh? Huh?
We got time with Eric's haircut.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna force it on him. Just let it happen.
Isn't his haircut in like 10 minutes?
Yeah, well, we're gonna get him on for like 5 minutes. You
we'll get the best of Eric. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna do. We're gonna have a little bit of fun, just a little bit of fun, because we have some free time, and I figured it's only fair to give this man some praise as the representative of the team that I have in my cell phone that answers my texts or calls.
The one.
Hey, it's that professional man over there. We're gonna give him the clap. That's Mr. Not Anymore producer Eric. That is senior manager of productions for your Los Angeles Dodgers. You've seen a lot. You've seen a lot. Oh wait, here you go. You've seen a lot of his video work and all of his editing. You see it a lot on our Twitter because we retweet the hell out of him. Now somehow he has more followers than me on Twitter, and I get it, you got that sweet Cody Bellinger ass coming up on the screen. But what's going on, man? You're living life in the bubble, and people need to know about the Eric bubble life.
Hello, my beautiful people of social media. How are you? I'm doing really great. Let's get to it. It's been a long time since I've done it.
See, this is where you need to be on camera, but you yelled at me.
I did yell at you. I'm Cuban. We yell at people.
That's fair. All right, we know you're short on time, man. We know you're short on time.
Yeah.
Because you got to get the dew. You got to get the cut fresh before.
Hey, by the way, I love the photo you're using now because the other one. Remember, we had to change it because I was not feeling the Woody photo. Like, shout out to Woody, but no, I really love that photo. Is going to be framed in my house.
You just have some iconic photos of you. For a guy who's always behind the camera, you tend to be in a lot of really iconic photos, and I would really much like to be you, Eric, just so we're clear on that.
Do you mean that I photobomb all the historic moments?
No, you're in the best spots. You're going to be in the history books. You're going to be like 95 years old talking to your grandkids like, look at me in the back. I wasn't supposed to be there.
So, yeah, it's also... Oh, yeah, by the way, belated happy birthday. We got Elisa popping in saying happy birthday, Eric.
You as well, Clint.
Much
you were Game 6.
That was Game 6. You had Game 7, and you know what? We were the difference makers.
Can you guys have birthdays this week too for good luck? Is that how that works?
I have a few unbirthdays coming up.
Oh.
Well, sometimes during my birthdays I have a couple aunts and uncles that are kind of late, so maybe I'll have some of that energy.
It's all about when the Facebook comments or the Facebook congrats stop coming in.
That's one of the two platforms I still use. So.
All right, man. So. You gotta tell people. You gotta tell these beautiful people, as you'll call them, of the internet. Tell them really what that bubble life is like, grinding and getting them hot shots. Because I know you're a freak when it comes to hot shots and getting the incredible cameras. I know you brought 2 cameras over there, and we are all very appreciative of the shots. I mean, the reaction shots. Just what goes into setting all this up, man.
It's. I will tell you what, this has been the most convenient shooting setup for me because we're in the bubble in the same stadium. We don't have to travel. Like, we kind of have our spot. And, like, it's funny, like, the first series, I would move around. And Stu was like, dude, every time you move around, something bad happens. You cannot leave the suite. So I was like, okay, Game 6 and 7, I'm staying in the suite. Because, I get tired of that behind home angle. Mm-hmm. But, they're amazing seats. Like, whoever pays money to sit in those seats, oh my God, they're unbelievable. But I wanted to move around and get some variety, for the edits, and she was like, no, you have to stay here. So I stayed there, and good things have happened since then. But it's really, the bubble life it's very routine. You wake up, you get on a bus, you head to the stadium, set your cameras up, shoot arrivals. There's tons of content we're constantly cranking out. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, and I probably will fall over when this is all said and done and take a 3-week nap. But it's great. It's really cool because being that we're one of the chosen few that are allowed to be in this bubble, you actually really get to know the players a lot better because we're like one big family. This is the Dodger side, and we're ready to take on the Rays.
I was going to say, I just wanted to quickly interject there because I wanted to point out, I know why you want to move around and get all those different shots and different angles because you see Suhu, and John Suhu's a beast with that. So I just wanted to point out a little Suhu plug, Suhu for Hall of Fame.
He's a legend.
I think I saw him hanging down from the rafters taking pictures during the series at one point.
Anyways,
I think any event I've ever been to, I see that dude floating around everywhere. I'm like, how did he get there?
I want to be that. I would like to be that dude in the future when I grow up.
That's perfect. It's going to be set up perfectly.
Aren't you an extremely grown man already?
He's not as grown.
Hey,
that's
listen.
the point.
Yeah. All right, Brooke.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. I just got tagged in something. Did you not just release another video right now?
Gasp.
Like right now?
Yeah.
You son of a...
Yes.
You're just dropping such good stuff all the time, Eric. I got to say, though, of everything I've seen so far, I'm on the show, so I haven't seen the one that you just did. Mm-hmm. That behind Cody Bellinger shot of him hitting the home run, dude.
So good.
Holy crap. Everything about that video is the focus on it, I don't know how do you in a moment not react to something? I just don't understand how you do that as a human.
So let me tell you something. So when we played the Padres and the Braves early on, I was moving around. So I went over to the other side, which is like the Braves side, and their front office people in those suites were cheering. And normally in the press box, there's a golden rule that you don't cheer. So the first couple of days, I wasn't cheering. And by the time this series got deeper into like us making this comeback from 3-1, Andrew Friedman was air fist bumping me. We were just cheering and screaming, and it was like, you know what, LFG. So it's funny because the voices you hear in the background of that are people in the suite, but it kind of sounds, and you can hear the dugout too. So for me, it's like holding your breath underwater. Like I'm literally just holding my breath. As soon as I stop hitting record, I just belt out the loudest LFG you can hear, like from outfield. Like it's incredible. But yeah, it's really hard to stay focused and maintain the shot when the moments are happening, because these are moments. If we win it all, this is a moment in history that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, I mean what we're going through, either way, it's nothing that's ever been done, and we hope it never gets done again. But hey, you're one of the privileged, lucky few that answered the right Craigslist ad to be there, and you're living it. You're living it 10, 12 years later, whatever the hell it is, and you're getting these killer.
Make sure to go watch that Blue Heaven podcast. Or listen to it.
As I say, by the way, I can tell how much you guys had been in there too, because we saw, on the straightaway center field shot, you see Sue clapping, showing emotions. How unprofessional!
She wasn't at first, and we were like, and I was like, Sue, you got to be positive. We got to come back from 3-1. And you know what? We did it. Like, oh my God, the greatest. I'll never forget this birthday for the rest of my life. This is unbelievable.
Phenomenal
that
birthday.
We did that.
Phenomenal birthday presents. 2 more for you. I don't know if you guys want, but I know you have your haircut coming up, so we're gonna get you out here real quick.
I do.
One, I'm actually uncertain who all is in from the social media team, from all you guys. Your fishbowl. Wait, what do you guys call it?
Me
Fish aquarium, fish tank. It's just you and Sue?
Just me and Sue.
Okay.
And we're coordinating every day with A. Perez and Hunter and all of them back in LA, and Nick and all of them. And literally, I'm up till 4 or 5 in the morning every night sending them content and videos so they can cut videos for our in-game and for our social. And Hunter is super talented. He's working on this really cool, new trailer for the World Series. So look out for that. It's going to be awesome.
Did we just get an exclusive? Oh, we got an exclusive. No, you guys are killing it. And also, on behalf of us, because we know her, we love her, tell her sorry on our behalf for having to live in a bubble with you, because I know she's struggling.
I'm behind on 5 episodes of Behind the Suits.
That poor woman. Do you have one? I know you have something.
Oh, I don't have anything. I'm in awe that I get to talk to the guy that makes all this fire content along with the whole team. Because man, I got to tell you, I've just been enjoying it so much, man. As a fan who's not able to be there and is so in love with going to games and going to Dodger Stadium and seeing the guys play, you guys have definitely changed the entire year for me, because it was rough early on, man. Like, it was really rough not being able to be out there to see you guys. But I thank you. I appreciate it.
I will tell you what. I do the pull-up.
Yeah.
My very first pull-up of the season, in my caption, I said, "We will be your eyes and ears to the game, because you can't be here, and we miss the fans' energy." And it's kind of weird having fans now, because in that last series, they were all Braves fans during our home games, like WTF. But anyway, we silenced them quickly. And we are, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you guys that access. That's why I started putting a GoPro in the dugout. We started filming the dugout, just giving you the angles that you don't really see on the broadcast all the time, because you guys can't come here. And for the very few that are able to fly over here for this World Series, we're so excited to have Dodger fans show up and represent for us, because I really feel like there's going to be a lot of Dodger fans this series.
Yeah, you hope. I mean, they're definitely travel more than Tampa fans. It's right in the middle. You got the farthest teams out countrywide, so that's awesome. Hey, man, go get your haircut. Keep killing it. Keep doing the Lord Lasorda's work, the Lord Scully's work, because you guys, like you said, you're making some magic for us, and you're our only hope.
Thank you, guys. Hey, you know what? We got 4 more to go. Let's do it. Shout out to Dodgers Nation, Clint, Brooke. Keep doing your thing, man. I love the way you guys, what you guys do on the show, even though you get a little too analytical for me. But
sometimes.
Thanks, man. Hey, send us pictures of your haircut. We need to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not showing my face. It's going to be a giant mask covering my
You
face.
got to cover the beard, man. Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
I mean,
Yeah. What beard? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
His face.
His
Got to
face.
cover his face.
All right,
but take it
wait,
easy.
I gotta go. Bye.
That was all his fault. All right, I'm just saying.
He has 3
All right.
minutes to get to his haircut. That's more than enough. He can get there. He's all right. He's fast. He runs with a camera.
We appreciate you guys hanging out because the comments have still been going hot. People talking amongst each other. You know, we've been going hard on the pre-games all postseason long. So this is kind of, I think, sort of a reprieve for us to just do something slightly different and go talk to a buddy, talk to Eric, get that different side of thing, not have to fill another slot on the show.
It feels good to just talk to people, you know, just like normal people, because it's just been me and you talking to each other for what was the number that I came up with? 9 times in 12 days or something that?
It was lots.
We have done a lot of pregame shows in a very short number of days and mixing in normal podcast days in there as well. So we haven't seen real people in a long time. Send help. We're lonely.
Send help. But no, again, we appreciate you guys. Before we do get out of here, the last couple of things we had to talk about. I wanted to talk about it earlier, but I messed up my mixing it in. But I wanted to talk about just the different feeling you do get with this team this year, and how maybe this time it is for real. You hope. You know, I'm not going to come in here and say this is ours, we got it. But if you did not watch Dave Roberts' cheer or his motivational speech, watching a grown ass man fight back tears about his team, you know, pulling off the unthinkable, the 3-1 series deficit comeback. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years, and Doc is looking ahead to something special for all of us here this October.
I don't want to get too emotional, but I am. But I'm just so proud of these guys. It's been a crazy year. Guys away from their families, social injustices. Our fans are stuck together. These guys are stuck together. We have a lot of work to do. But for the Dodger fans that are here, the ones that aren't here, we love you. We're thinking about you. And this year is our year. This is our year.
This is our year, and I've never felt it more than I do now. I hope I get rewarded. I hope we all get rewarded for me feeling it.
We've never gone into a World Series with this much momentum. We've never gone into a World Series feeling like we're firing. It's never felt like this before. You know, when we went into the Red Sox World Series in 2018, I hate to bring up bad memories, guys. We should have won 2017. Obviously, we all know that. We were cheated out of it. There's nothing we can do about that. Oh, you know, hopefully nothing like that's going to happen. I don't think anything like that will ever happen again. Hopefully. Should not have been in the 2018 World Series in the first place. We lucked into that. There's no way we should have been there. The Red Sox were steamrolling everybody. The Brewers should have steamrolled us, and they didn't. This is the first year we're going into it, you know, being down 3-1 and coming back and overcoming adversity and facing a real life challenge and being like, hey, we can take this on head on. Let's take it one game at a time. The way that these guys have gone about their business, the way that they've showed up every single day and talked about the game like it's the most important game that they've ever played, the way that they're saying one game at a time, doesn't matter if we're up, doesn't matter if we're down, one game at a time. Every single game is a one-game series. It's unlike any team that I've ever seen. And that's not just any Dodger team I've ever seen. This is unlike any other baseball team that I've ever seen. They feel like a team of destiny, and every single postseason has that team, and that team usually ends up winning the World Series. The 2017 was arguably a team of destiny. Again, got cheated out of it, but it just feels right. It feels good this year. Think about the fact that I think Bruzdar just posted a picture of his World Series pictures, and it just got me thinking like how many things had to go wrong for him in order to get him here and to be in his first World Series as a rookie. And I'm just like, man, there's so many good things that happened for that kid now that he's able to come to Los Angeles. Obviously, Boston didn't want him. Thank God that Boston didn't want him for himself and for us. You get Mookie Betts. You think you're only going to have Mookie Betts for a year. The season gets shut down. You think you might not have a season. You're afraid that you might not have Mookie Betts at all. Mookie Betts signs a 12-year extension. We get the season, et cetera, et cetera. And now we're in the World Series. And his first year in Los Angeles gets to go to the World Series. Everything about it is like it's storybook. I mean, it really is so far.
Mookie, take us to the promised land,
Take
Mookie.
us to the promised land.
Hey guys, if you guys are feeling chills when you're hearing us say anything, you're feeling the chills when you see Doc Roberts talking like that way. You're seeing these hype videos that have some hours and love behind them. There's that kid Josh who posted something on social media. We posted it on our site DodgersNation.com. Check it out. There's your chills, your good vibes, they're there for a reason. We all feel this for a reason. Like you said, like Brooks said, this is this has that feeling of a team of destiny, and hopefully a lot of you guys who weren't alive for it get to experience your first World Series coming up. We're going to be here with you every step of the way, the good times and the bad, pregame every single day, postgame right after every game. We hope we get the happiest one at the end of it. But if not, well, at least we got baseball in 2020. That's the most important thing. But follow everything about your team along the way. We are Dodgers Nation. We on DodgersNation.com. It's an internet machine thing, so that's pretty cool. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio. All of these are places and more that you can find the Blue Heaven podcast. Subscribe to, is it not subscribe? The other one. Yeah, hit the subscription. That's what it is on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Mash that, where's it? Notification bell. You'll be glad you did, I promise.
I like it. Way to pick up the pieces there at the end, remembering what you're supposed to do. Guys, I am at BrookMe3. This guy over here is at RealFRG. We're both on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Dodger Nation on Twitter, at Officials Dodger Nation on Instagram. Make sure you go check it out because we are doing the giveaway again, and that's the only way that you can win the signed Corey Seager ball.
There it is.
There it is again.
There it is.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today.
Shut up,
Dave.
Doc.
No, Dave, no. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for Doc for being here with us today. Join us tomorrow on our pregame show. We're going on at 4 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow for a pregame show. We'll be live every day before these games. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you. See you tomorrow.
Bye.